Thank you for welcoming me onto your screens or onto your headphones, depending on how you're watching this. I'm Eddie, and this is The Rollback. Folks, today I'll be talking about Nope, the latest film from Jordan Peele. Now, brother and sister, father passes away under mysterious circumstances. Brother and sister reunite. There's a creature abound. Also, at the same time, there's a park in the area that's kind of dealing with this other extraterrestrial phenomenon as well. Hijinks ensue, and the hunt is on. So, Nope, a film that was drastically different from its marketing. It was marketed very much as like an alien horror film. It's kind of like Signs, but it was completely different, an original take on a premise I don't think we've really seen before. But I did like it. So let's talk about the actors real quick, though. To start, we have one Mr., and I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, Daniel Kaluuya. He plays O.J. Haywood. He's the main male protagonist. He's the brother in this one. He's a horse wrangler, but a bit socially awkward. He's not great at people skills. Good man, but, a little awkward in front of a crowd. Fair enough, man. I get it. I have to do this in front of nobody. I understand. That said, we also have one Miss Kiki Palmer. She plays Emerald Haywood, the sister. A little more outgoing, a little more not entrepreneurialistic, master of many things, essentially. She just come back to the farm to, live there for a bit. She's kind of in between. She's trying to promote herself. But also, again, their father did pass away under suspicious circumstances. In addition to that, we also have one Mr. Stephen Yoon playing one Ricky Park, a.k.a. Jupe. His part's a little more different. So we see him in 2 points of his life. When he's a child star, and when he's an adult. When he's a child star in the 90s, he's part of an infamous incident where I want to say Grebo, something like that. Basically, Ape goes ape shit and slaughtered everyone on the TV show. It didn't kill everybody, but harmed several individuals. He was present when it happened, which is traumatizing, fair enough. There's a lesson in there, but we'll talk about that lesson momentarily. In the modern day, he owns a theme park near where the Haywood Ranch is, and he's trying to kind of take advantage of a situation that's happening to entertain people where this UFO is appearing, and we get into more on that in just a moment. We also have one Mr. Brandon Perea. He plays Angel Torres. He is the tech guy from the local, technically, I guess if you want to call it a Best Buy, you can. Tech dude, he's kind of there for a lot of comic relief, but also he's meant to be like the younger voice of the group. And lastly, we have one Michael Wincott. He plays Antler Hoist, a world-renowned cinematographer, the one person that they believe can actually get this picture, because we'll go into it in a moment. But yes, he plays a world-renowned cinematographer. Now, this film, it had the best opening of an original property since 2019's Us, so that is a huge positive. In addition to that, this film, it's a bit of a mix mash of creature feature, alien, horror, thriller, family drama, all mixed into one. So essentially what happens is we find out at the beginning of the film that there is a creature, a UFO. It's not a spaceship though. It's basically a living, breathing being. It's unknown if it's actually extraterrestrial from another planet or if it's just a creature of Earth. But nonetheless, it hunts and eats horses. And it's kind of them trying to get it on film. The thing is, though, is whenever it's around, power dies in the immediate area. I'm guessing that's like a survival tactic. Another cool incorporation of it is the fact that if they look at it, it feels threatened and it'll attack. Versus if you don't look at it, it won't go after you. Or ideally, it wouldn't go after you. Treating it kind of like a beast, kind of like the horses. Also, kind of like the chimpanzee that went apeshit. I think the lesson of the chimpanzee part, though, was basically you can't tame a wild animal, or you can't always tame a beast, but that's besides the point. This film, at the heart of it, though, is them trying to get a picture of this monster to sell, to hopefully save the ranch, and, maintain their family. Maintain the business that their great-great-grandfather built. Extra great. So yeah, it's a big story of that. There's a cool plan in the middle where they figure out, okay, if we just run him in through the ravine, maybe we can get a shot on him or a picture of him and whatnot. But this film is nowhere near as much of a horror film as some of the trailers suggested. It's not so much horror as much as it is more thriller and family drama. And again, it is a creature feature. And I do appreciate the aspect where I've never seen a UFO be treated as the alien. I think everyone was expecting, myself and Nikki included, we're expecting there to be little green men. We're expecting there to be aliens. At one point, we kind of think we see them. There's like these owlistic creatures, you know, but that ends up being like a complete red herring. But yeah, no. Again, original film, original idea, and I like the premise. I like what they do. Also, some funny comedy, especially the part where the idiot, the TMZ guy, he's riding an electric motorcycle, I believe, and the battery dies and he falls off. He does a Wilhelm. It's funny. You have to watch it, but it's funny. But yeah, and it's also Keke Palmer's character, Emerald, kind of growing up, you know. Her brother, there's an old memory where she says that, you know, she was supposed to get a horse for her birthday so she could learn to break it in and train it and whatnot. But her father ended up training it himself so he could, you know, sell it or whatnot. She kind of, like, that's like a hurtful memory in her past. And initially, OJ says, I don't remember that. But at the moment where he's preparing to sacrifice himself, you know, wait for that to pass. Oh, so there's a moment where OJ's about to sacrifice himself, and he does the same sign that he did to Emerald when they were kids. You know, I see you, and you know, kind of acknowledgement. I do remember, and I'm sorry for that. You know, I'm sorry that happened, and he's about to sacrifice himself. Once the creature goes after Emerald again, she manages to outwit it and essentially kill the creature while also getting a picture off on it. It's implied that hopefully they do well, hopefully they get famous, we'll see, but the film really closes with brother and sister being reunited and they're alive. Can't say the same about everyone else, but they lived at least. So the cons. I think the only real con is that I wanted to have a little more aliens, some more little green men, but I get it. It was a different idea. Fair enough. Nonetheless, I did enjoy the film. It is an A in my book. I would recommend other people watch it. It's an experience. Jordan Peele now has a definitive streak of great characters and great stories that he's showing. You know, from Nope to Get Out and Us. You know, he has a solid streak going, and I can only imagine how much better it's going to get. Maybe, I wonder what would happen if he directed like a straight up horror film. Like legit, like the goal was horror. Then again, is this horror?
Picture was a 2-second clip of a black man on a horse.
That's it, folks. That's gonna wrap it up for this episode of the Rollback Podcast. Well, the Rollback video review. That's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Please like and subscribe. We'd always greatly appreciate it. We're always trying to grow this channel. Views are going. Fun fact: 65% of our viewers are not subscribed. So please, if you wouldn't mind, subscribe. We're trying to grow. We're trying to do a lot more for this. That said, I've been Eddie, and this was the Rollback. We'll see everybody.